A WWE Championship is being vacated and tons more news being dropped in this video. Make sure you stay tuned. This is The Ango Show. All right, y'all, we're going to kick things off with Great Muta. We've talked about Great Muta being inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame. This shouldn't be a shocker to you if you're a subscriber of the channel, which is why it's important that you do subscribe, so this way you never miss all of the biggest stories in pro wrestling. But now there's a little bit of news because Great Muta being inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame. WWE obviously wants to make it a big deal, but the real question is, how will WWE announce this? And it appears that the Great Muta could be announced for the Hall of Fame during the live episode of The Bump this Wednesday, March 15th. So the idea is that Ric Flair will be the one inducting Great Muta. WWE is advertising Ric Flair with a major announcement for The Bump, and it's expected that Ric Flair will then announce that he is inducting the Great Muta on The Bump. Now, what I really want to see here is what kind of footage they use from the Great Muta. Obviously, he has history in WCW. We know Shinsuke Nakamura did work a event for Pro Wrestling Noah, so perhaps maybe there was some sort of plan where they can use some Pro Wrestling Noah footage, maybe even some of the footage with Shinsuke Nakamura involved, which, by the way, side note, what the hell is going on with that? I'm going to try to get some answers for you guys. But I like the idea of Great Muta being inducted. I think Ric Flair inducting him is cool. I'm excited, honestly. I think Great Muta is such a hell of a talent, and it still hasn't dawned on me that he's actually retired and it's all over. But this guy is absolutely incredible. WWE also believes in that, which is why WWE has decided to induct him into the Hall of Fame. And that's why Shinsuke Nakamura was able to go to Pro Wrestling Noah for the event. And it's just a really cool trade-off for WWE. You send one of your talent over to Pro Wrestling Noah. In return, you get to induct one of the biggest legends in pro wrestling. It's a win-win. I hope WWE does more of that, especially because there's a lot of great talent in Japan that should be inducted into a Hall of Fame, whether or not they've actually wrestled for the WWE. Guys, is The Undertaker going to coach at the Performance Center? In fact, The Undertaker actually answered this in a new interview with Ariel Helwani. He says he's been approached about doing it, but his thing is that he's trying to take what he did in his era and apply it to where the product is now. He believes it is actually tough. He even says that it's tough for him, still coming to grips with not being in the ring as well. He says it's tough. Even the other night, I have to say, I was in the ring. Man, I'm feeling pretty good. No, Undertaker is not returning to the ring. He makes it very clear that he's not going to. He says in his heart that he would love to, but obviously he just knows that his body can't hold up physically. He just can't do it. He tells people that, he would like to be in there, but he can't. He also says that, he says, if I tell people if I'm on TV, I'm taking away TV time from somebody else that's going to be on the road and is going to be relevant 5 to 10 years from down the road. So I just can't do it. I can't physically give people what they expect when they see The Undertaker's name on the page, so I don't want to become a parody of myself. So not only did he turn down a Performance Center job, but also he has no plans to return in the ring as well. Now, the thing is, with The Undertaker possibly being part of the coaching staff, it would be pretty massive, but I get it. This guy still in his head and his heart wants to wrestle, and it's really hard to coach other people and tell other people what to do when you know that these guys are the future, and unfortunately you're not. Like, you don't have a future in the ring anymore. It's just like one of those things where you're reminded daily of what you love to do, and because of that, it makes it so much more difficult. But honestly, if you could just imagine for 1 second what type of knowledge, just the type of knowledge that wrestlers in NXT would be getting from working with The Undertaker, it would be tremendous. Because one of the biggest complaints that I also have about WWE NXT is some of the acting on the show and, some of the backstage promos and stuff like that. And whether or not you liked Undertaker's gimmick, there was a really good period of time in which The Undertaker really made people scared. And that is a lost art in pro wrestling. And it's difficult to do that now, obviously, because wrestling, it's kind of become the norm that people accept the fact that it's, it is scripted entertainment, but just goes to show you the lengths that, The Undertaker went just to make sure people really believed in the character and believed in him as the performer. It wasn't like The Undertaker was out wrestling people, but he had a very good dynamic to the things that he was doing in the ring, and it was all about storytelling. And these are things that a lot of people in NXT should learn and Undertaker would obviously be a great learner. So yeah, I would say more than likely the idea that Undertaker returning to NXT as a coach, probably not likely, but you never know. He always says never say never as well. So it is something to keep in mind. It could happen, but it's more than likely not going to happen. And guys, we got to talk about this. Shawn Michaels has made a major announcement on WWE. Guys, this is insane. So if you guys don't know, WWE is in a very, very interesting storyline right now with Roxanne Perez, because they did this whole angle where Roxanne Perez actually collapsed after her match with Meiko Satomura. Now Shawn Michaels revealed on Twitter that she is out of the hospital, but currently undergoing health tests and all that good stuff. And basically, in the meantime, what they're going to do is they're going to have plans to crown a new women's champion at NXT Stand and Deliver. So starting tonight on March 14th, 2023, WWE NXT will be doing qualifying matches for a ladder match that will take place at Stand and Deliver. And in that match, we will see the women's championship on the line. Now, why is WWE going about this? Why did they decide to vacate the title? What is actually the plan here? Or is the plan to actually have Roxanne Perez eventually return at Stand and Deliver in the ladder match and beat 5 other women? What is the plan there? Because if WWE is doing that to make Roxanne Perez seem superhuman, cool, that's fantastic, that's amazing. But at the same time, too, if this little vacated title thing ends up leading to her coming back and winning the title, I think a lot of people are going to be pretty upset. And storyline wise, it could work out really well, but execution really matters here. Keep in mind, Nikita Lyons is also hurt. Now, if I'm WWE, I feel like you got to make a change. You got to freshen up the NXT brand a little bit with these championship belts. I'm very happy with the work that Roxanne has done. I'm very happy with what Braun Breaker has done and Wes Lee and everybody else, but it's time to start changing title holders a little bit. And Roxanne held the title pretty well. She did pretty great since she beat Mandy Rose. Not a big deal. She doesn't need a very, very long reign to begin with. We still have Cora Jade, who hasn't won the championship. We still have Zoe Stark, who hasn't won the championship. And then you have Tiffany Stratton. And you have so many other people who could definitely become the champion. Then obviously the same thing could be said for Wes Lee holding the North American Championship. You obviously have Dijak, Tony D'Angelo, and whatnot. So I'm hoping Stand and Deliver kind of kicks us off into like this new, I don't want to say era because that's been overdone, but kind of like a new mission for NXT to keep things fresh and we'll see obviously what happens. But WWE has decided that the belt is coming off of Roxanne Perez. Is that the long-term plan? That's the really interesting part. But obviously, this is scripted entertainment, so we'll see. Guys, let me know what you think in the comment section down below. I appreciate everybody for stopping by. Just a quick reminder as well, I'm creating WWE 2K23 content on my channel, Ango Plays. That's where I'm going to be live streaming WWE 2K23 and AEW Fight Forever. I'm playing a whole bunch of games, uploading content there. So if you're not subscribed, go ahead and check it out. I just dropped a new video today. I'll put that link in the description as well. With that being said, guys, I appreciate you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.